Okay, folks, so I'm gonna say match meow, and I need you to match what I'm doing while acting like a cat, all right? So match meow, match meow, match meow. How's it going, folks? It's Pat here from Asphalt Green's Recess Enhancement Program, here with another instructional video for you, this time for our game, Kitty Cat Careers, all right? Before we can hop into the game though, we of course want to start with a safety check, all right? So, as with every game, before we start it and after we finish it, we want to make sure that we and our students are washing our hands with soap for at least 20 seconds, okay? And we want to make sure that these paws aren't going anywhere near our face at any point, okay? If anybody ever has to cough or sneeze, you have to do the coolest cough and sneeze, and that is just dab right into the elbow, all right? So we can promote that. And as always, we want to make sure that we are properly social distancing. So we want to make sure that every student and every person is 6 feet apart from one another while the game is happening. And how about at every other point as well, all right? So if you've done your safety check, you feel confident in the safety, well, I just need you to give me 2 paw claps, and let's get started on Kitty Cat Careers. Okay, folks, so it seems like everyone's ready to go, which means that we can hop into our overview of Kitty Cat Careers. And what's the name of the game? No, seriously, I can't really remember it right now. Now, I know I had it a moment ago. It's Kitty Cat Careers, isn't it? I think it is. Okay, folks, so Kitty Cat Careers is a great game to play with students within any age range and students of any ability level, all right? So it's good for students from kindergarten all the way up through 8th grade. And it's a game that can really be played anywhere, so long as students can form a circle and stand 6 feet apart while forming that circle, all right? So if you've got that space, the game is gonna be super safe because students won't really need to come into closer contact with one another at any point. All right, so proper social distance will be maintained. And it's also super safe because students won't need to share any equipment at any point. The game doesn't really require it. The only equipment that you might think of using are cones to mark your space in the circle, all right? So the game is super, super safe, and fun is a byproduct of safety because once everything's super safe, everything can be super, super fun, right? And I'm here to guarantee that this game is an absolute blast because aren't all rep games? So you've got the rep guarantee on it, but let's get into the details so I can show you that this game really, really is super, super fun. And as we always like to do when discussing details, we'll rep it out, all right? So we'll start with our ready, and we'll talk about how we can get ready for Kitty Cat Careers. So first thing you're gonna wanna do to get ready for Kitty Cat Careers is to map out your play area and designate your boundaries, okay? As mentioned, Kitty Cat Careers is a circle game. So you're gonna wanna find a space that's going to allow students to form a circle or something like a circle, all while standing 6 feet apart from one another, okay? Once you've found that play area, you can visually mark off where you want the boundaries to be, and then you can do a safety sweep of the area, okay? So you can remove any items that might pose a safety risk, and you can have a think about how you're gonna work around any items that maybe can't be moved. Once that's done, you can take some cones or tape and you can lay those out as physical markers of those boundaries, all right? And then the only other equipment that you might need for this game will be a stack of cones that you will eventually place in front of students when they form a circle, okay? So you might wanna get a stack of cones, one for each student playing. Once you've done that though, you've got the play space set up, you've done your safety check and you've got your equipment ready, you can have students gather up and form a circle, and you can have them do that by using the attention grabber that I used at the beginning of this video, right? So you can say, all right, if you can hear my voice, you're going to match me, but you're going to match me like a cat when I say match meow, okay? So match meow, match meow, match meow, right? And can you match meow by forming a circle and standing 6 feet apart from one another within the cones and tape, all right? Now that you have everyone gathered up in a circle, that means that you're ready to explain the game, all right? So when explaining a game, it's always important to use a loud and clear voice so that all students can hear and understand you. And it's also important to ask students specific questions about the instructions while you're delivering them, okay? So a question we would suggest you ask students is, well, what do you do when you're the kitty cat in the middle of the circle? Now, that will make a little bit more sense as we get into the actual instructions of the game. So I'll do that right now, and how about you follow along on your PDF copy of it or online on our website. So, the first rule of kitty cat careers is something you'll already have students doing, and that is form a circle and stand 6 feet apart from one another, okay? You can then take that stack of cones that you have, and you can place a cone in front of every student. That way, whenever somebody swaps positions, they'll always be 6 feet apart from one another, okay? Next, what you can then do is you as the facilitator can head to the center of the circle. You can explain to all the students in the circle that you are the kitty cat. You can explain to them that as the kitty cat, you will be selecting a career of your own choosing, and you will be acting that career out, right? But you cannot say anything. The only noise you can make is that of a cat, of course, and that is meow, right? And it is up to everyone in the circle to try and guess the career that you've chosen, all right? Through your actions and through your meowing, all right? So say, for example, you chose the career of a fisherman, right? You would begin acting that career out. So you would be going, meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 right? And then everyone in the circle will start yelling out guesses, okay? So you can explain to students that they'll need to start doing that. So they can be like sailor, traveler, oh, fisherman, right? And so whenever somebody yells out the correct answer, the first person to do that will become the new kitty cat, all right? But in order to make that happen, the kitty cat in the center will have to hear it and go, yes. And then everyone in the circle will have to do a song, all right? So they'll have to go, meow, 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 kitty cat careers, right? And then the person who guessed correctly and the kitty cat will swap positions, and then the person in the center will begin acting out another career as a kitty cat, okay? And that is kitty cat careers. So that's an explanation of the rules for kitty cat careers. So how about now we talk a little bit about how we can play the game so students are abiding by those rules, and how we can play the game so as to keep it interesting and engaging for them, okay? Before we can do that, though, I think everyone needs to match meow, match meow, match meow. Can everyone form a circle and stand 6 feet apart from one another, all right? Brilliant stuff. Thanks, folks. I appreciate it. So one of the first things we would suggest is to practice, right? So that first round, and maybe a second round too, can be a practice round. During those practice rounds, you as the facilitator can remind all the students that 1, they should always be 6 feet apart from one another. 2, that if you're the kitty cat, you are acting like a cat while acting out the career. So the only noise you can make is that of a meow, okay? Thirdly, you can remind them of what happens when students have to swap places, right? So only when the correct answer is given does the kitty cat break character, right? And say, yes, and then they have to sing the song, right? So everyone in the circle will sing that song. You need to remind everyone to do that. So it'll be meow, 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 kitty cat careers, and then they'll swap, all right? And if you want to mix it up even more with that, right, you can add it in so that if the career is guessed correctly, right, well, then the kitty cat has to do 5 jumping jacks or something, right? So you can add in a little bit of extra activity there. Anyway, once everything feels comfortable, though, once you feel like the game is running smoothly, well, what you can then do is add in a few little extra things to make it a little bit more engaging and interesting for students, all right? So maybe you can set it up so that, you know, say people are having a tough time guessing the kitty cat's career. Well, maybe the kitty cat gets to hand out 2 hints all the time, all right? So the whole group can ask, oh, we need a hint, right? They can only do that 2 times. Then what you might also add in, say you want to add in a little bit more flavor to it, You can set it so that the kitty cat can only act out a career in a specific category, okay? So maybe the category is food. In that case, the kitty cat's not gonna be acting out an astronaut, right? So we'll have to pick something related to food, right? Like a chef. And if students are even looking for a bigger challenge, right? Well, you can put a time limit on the guessing, okay? So say there's 1 minute to guess what the kitty cat's career, right? And if nobody can guess it, well, then everybody has to do 10 squats, 10 jumping jacks, something, right? Just to add in a little bit of a challenge to make it a little bit of a competition against the clock, all right? So those are just a few tips and suggestions from us, but feel free to add your own to make it even more active and even more fun. So the end of our tip list marks the end of the rep model and therefore the end of this video, folks. Before we head off though, if everyone could just match meow, match meow, match meow. Just gather on up, stand 6 feet apart from one another. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for following along in this video. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you have a great time playing kitty cat careers with your students, all right? Stay tuned for more videos from us over here at Asphalt Green, and we'll catch you the next time.